Hello and welcome to Longship Gaming. This is our 3rd anniversary video. I can't believe it's been 3 years since I started this channel. Still going strong, still having a lot of fun. I have no doubt there will be a 4th, barring some kind of horrible disaster. We're now at the past the 720 subs point, so thank you very much for all those that joined. Even before the 2nd anniversary, but in the year since. Slower growth than before. Like I had hoped to be in the low 800s by this point, but you know, that's the way it is. Algorithm changes in taste, who knows. Over 96,000 views, over 15,000 watch hours in total. We now have also completed 150 Marvel Champions playthroughs. All still up on the channel, no matter how old or wrong some of them may have been, or not as nice looking as the ones I've done in the past year. We're going to skip a point here and say that for Marvel Champions, I set out to play through all the heroes alphabetically and the scenarios as best as possible. That is now complete and probably is going to be guiding me for my choices in the foreseeable future, with a caveat that I should discuss. Between last year, I did end up upgrading my game space somewhat. So in the last video, the tables were in. I hadn't actually built them yet. They are now assembled. They make for great miniatures games, board games, and so on. It's much more comfortable having friends over, with better sort of top-down lighting, better use of the space to have access to all the board games and card games and miniatures games. But as you can see behind here, I never did get a curtain for that window, so that's still a cat bed right now. But there is a new cat tree sleeping area right behind me that they spend a lot of time on. So it's not the prettiest, but it sure is plenty functional overall. So in last year's video, I mentioned I was going to take up playing Star Wars Unlimited, but there was always going to be a question as to whether or not it was going to succeed locally. And it has. I have played pretty consistently drafts on Wednesday nights at Face to Face, my closest, friendliest game store. They've been really great at supporting the game. And yeah, I've stuck mostly to draft. I do some constructed events, but draft really is where my heart is for this. And going forward, Twin Suns, when they are pushing the multiplayer format come set 4, but I'll discuss more of that later. So when I created a couple of videos, or some videos, on Star Wars Unlimited drafts, they actually attracted a slightly different audience. And it was very interesting because there's not a lot of discussion of draft out there. I don't know how many stores. I know that it's picked up a bit. There always seems to be a flourishing of draft when a new set comes out. I don't know if, let's say, this last set, Twilight of the Republic, the 3rd set, it's hard to believe, actually, when I first mentioned Star Wars Unlimited, that hadn't even come out yet. There was a huge question as to whether or not it was going to be successful. It managed to make it through its first year. People seemed really happy with the next set coming out in about a month called Jump to Lightspeed, moving into a new sort of tenor of releases where it's not specific eras. There will be some new mechanics introduced, but a lot of the mechanics have already been laid down in the first year. So I wanted to focus on draft because there wasn't a lot of content out there for it, reviewing all the cards, the commons, the uncommons, and the leaders that you're likely to encounter in playing the game. I'm going to continue doing that, so I'm in the process of prepping one for the next set for Jump to Lightspeed. And I should get into what's going to happen in the future in a minute, so I don't want to jump all over the place too much. So in 2024, life's challenges meant fewer videos. So 2024 was a challenging year. Financially, due to people in the household's income and the stresses of not really having one. So it was a bit of a tough year. We also lost a couple of pets One of our dog Nuka, passed away at about 10 years old or so. 10 to 14. We never really were sure when we got her. We had her for 10 years. And we got her probably around when she was about 4. So somewhere between 12 and 14 years. Unfortunately, she passed away fairly suddenly. We also lost one of our cats. Now, as people can see from a lot of the videos, we did pick up another cat. So Goose, the orange fluffy cat, makes an appearance quite often when I'm filming Marvel Champions content. So it was a real up and down year. It got better near the end. I think things are looking pretty solid, knock on wood, for 2025. But the challenges of last year meant less time to be, or capability with people being in the house to be able to actually film videos on any kind of regular basis. And to do anything other than really maintain putting out one Marvel Champions video per week, to make sure I keep to that commitment, which of course is a commitment I will keep doing going forward. Subscriber growth slowed, so I mentioned that off the top. So we only gained about 140 over the year, which was down about 100 from previous years. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's just a strange and tough time for content creators in general. And that all comes down to time. How much time do people have to put into videos to make them super spectacular looking and fancy with great graphics and sound and so on? Well, when it's a one-man show, it's going to be tough. So I'm not really all that surprised that things slowed down somewhat. But who knows what will happen in 2025. So what happened to Earthborn Rangers? So that ties into the life's challenges part. I discovered, as much as I love Earthborn Rangers, and I encourage anybody to go back and look at the unboxing video that I did. There is its own playlist on the channel, and I did a few sessions. I think I did like up to 4 or 5. I discovered that playing that game solo, although still an excellent game, it is much better playing it with more people. So I've restarted that campaign with my wife off camera. And we've had a lot of fun with it, and I look forward to actually getting through that campaign. You just see more of what's going on in the world. There's more interaction. I found that things were really slowed down and, in a sense, kind of lonely when playing it solo. So I'll be playing that one off camera and hope to get further through the campaign, because the additional campaign is probably going to ship in April or May of this year. So there's going to be even more content coming down the road for that. I strongly recommend it. I think it's one of the best games, especially card games, that's come out in the living card game space in many a year. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And it's going to be coming back into print, so now's the time to grab that one. So I didn't end up doing anything monetization. I sort of puzzled over that, whether or not I'd start with super chats or just like a tip box or something. I realized that this certainly was not going to be worth the time. I think if I were to even consider that, I'd have to be over the 1,000 subscriber mark. So it's not something that I want to mess with right now. Again, this is not costing me much to do this, because I'm going to be buying these games anyway. And I'm not going to go to people to ask them for funds, unless I was expecting to do some kind of really huge expansion or change to the channel. As you may be able to tell from my focus on Star Wars Unlimited, is I'm in my card game era this year. So I've rediscovered the joys of Commander. I'm consuming a lot of Commander content online for Magic. So if you don't know what Commander is, it is a multiplayer format for Magic the Gathering. It's casual, at least the way that we play it is. It's very janky, and it's a lot of fun. So to that point, my wife, who had not played Magic in many a year and had negative experiences with it, she's had nothing but, so far, broadly positive experiences playing Commander. So now she has more Commander decks than I do, and that was in a very short period of time. And some other members of my friend group have jumped back into it with the releases this year, and I look forward to playing more of that. I'm going to definitely be playing more Commander, but I'm not an expert enough to make videos about it, because I'm certainly not on the ground floor, and there are tons of resources out there if you're interested in playing Commander as a Magic format. I highly recommend it. The what are called precons that they released with every set have become so much better than they used to be from the first one that I bought. So excellent time, a lot of fun. Get 4 friends together, play the game. It's just great. By the same token, I was able to play a lot of Vampire Rivals, which is a living card game, although competitive multiplayer this year. That's been a lot of fun. I have another friend who bought into it as well, and so we have pretty much everything there is to make for that set. We have to actually play it again soon to be able to play with the werewolf decks that are out for it. So hopefully that game continues to get stuff, because they only have 2 werewolf clans, and I don't think they completed all the hunter clans or hunter organizations yet. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that one. And what was the other card game I had played? Star Wars Rivals, Commander. I'm thinking maybe this year the Gundam card game, maybe, because it also is connected to a miniatures game. But we'll see what happens going forward. Again, like in the past, I went really hard in painting miniatures. That was my main thing in playing a lot of miniatures games. I have not played that many in the past year. It's mostly been card games. Super portable. A lot of good choices out there for it. Just sort of what I'm vibing with right now. Pardon me. So, best laid plans for 2025. So I had this on my list last year, which was the Legions Imperialis board. Actually, Army Project, but not board. That is still underway. I am very close. I've got another 16 dreadnoughts to be able to make it a fully painted, and to put some transfers onto some parts of the army. But I have an entire board of city terrain now. I'm almost done completely painting it. Thanks to Brian, a friend of mine, who 3D printed all these up. They look amazing. I've got some boards and so on, some smaller boards that I'm going to use. I want to do a video actually on the entire project to show how it all came together once I'm finally done. I just have to get through that final push to finish it and actually get to playing it more often in 2025. One of the whole points of me building or setting up a new game area in the basement was to be able to play games like this with my friends. He's been very generous, as I said, my friend Brian, with printing off these terrain bits. So I want to do him proud and actually get this to the table and show it off in all of its little tiny miniature man glory. For Star Wars Unlimited going forward, I'm going to continue to do draft reviews, so I'm going to be working on the Jump to Lightspeed one. And this year is the big push for their multiplayer format that's like Commander, called Twin Suns. So we're set for the minimum deck size goes up to 80 cards. So again, it's a singleton format like Commander. There is not a lot out there in terms of like how to construct a Twin Suns deck, what staples there might be in the various colors, synergies between leaders and bases, and so on. I want to do this because I certainly want to play more of it this year. So that's probably going to happen after the release. So after March sometime, I want to start doing videos talking about what kind of deck types or archetypes can you pull, say, from Magic, is there a corollary in Twin Suns? Or can we come up with a brand new nomenclature for deck types and staple cards and play patterns and deck construction and so on with Twin Suns. As I said, there's not a lot out there. I look forward to maybe not cornering the market, but like pushing Twin Suns as a really fun format. So you'll note here that for Star Wars, my focuses are still on limited formats and then multiplayer casual formats. Again, I play constructed sometimes. I don't play it particularly well. I'm not interested in spending a lot of money on extremely expensive individual cards. If I get them in draft, I get them. If I get them when I buy the boxes, which I'm still going to do, then more power to me, I suppose. But no, I think that's where my focus for that card game is going to be in 2025. Because, as I said, in 2024, I didn't have a lot of time. I do have more time now due to life-changing events in 2025 to produce more than just my one Marvel Champions game per week. I don't have it on a list here, but speaking of Marvel Champions, so I know that there has been a lot of discussion in the community over what to do with the new, like the split between legacy and like current card sets. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, Fantasy Flight has announced for all of its LCGs, so Arkham Horror and Lord of the Rings and Marvel, they're going to be having some evergreen products. Some products go out of print, printing new versions of older heroes. Older scenario sets go out of production. And so there'll be basically two different environments. One that will be like you play everything from the past, like a legacy format, and then another format which is 2 to 3 years of the most current products will be considered to be. So they're not going to keep stuff in print forever. They are going to go out of print because there's just far too many SKUs. I mean, there's over 50 heroes now. So that's a lot of individual packs. I'm surprised that they didn't sort of condense those into like packs of like 6 heroes. I know in some territories they did that with early ones. I guess that was a test to see how well they sold. I guess they didn't sell very well. So nothing stops them now from putting out a new version of Doctor Strange, or a new version of Captain America, or something that's more in line with the modern or current power levels of the game. So what does it mean for the channel? I haven't decided yet. Like, I could pivot to just doing up-to-date standard material, or I could do everything. I should probably put up a poll to see what people want to see. Do they want everything, or do they want only the current standard or modern versions? I would very much love to hear back from my audience to see what they want. I'm easy either way. I do want to get use out of everything I have. It's been very fun playing through this alphabetically and realizing that I'm really only encountering certain heroes in certain scenarios once a year. And that's just going to get bigger and bigger as time goes on. So we'll see. Do people want more concentrated, modern or current decks for stuff that's going to be available, or do people want to see stuff that's going to go out of print? I'll have to put up a survey for that. And another thing I like to do, okay, so I know I mentioned this in last, I went back and looked at the second anniversary video, and I mentioned specifically a game called Anachrony, which is a solo game that I wanted to get to the table because it took a lot of time to learn, and I realized I never did. In fact, I just added more solo games. So I added Undaunted Callisto, or Callisto, what's the actual title? Undaunted 2200 Callisto, which is a great solo pseudo war game with a campaign. Beautiful game, fantastic. Great, plays great with 2 players or even 4 players, but really is great solo. And also the game Resist, which is the story of rebels in Spain during Franco's reign of fascist reign of terror in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. I've played a bit of that, haven't gotten through it. And what else did I pick up this year? Oh, finally got Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. So that's one I was dying to get. It's finally easily available. So I definitely want to get that to the table. These are not ones that I'm going to necessarily film. These are ones that I'm going to just play on my own. Unless I feel they actually have some kind of like benefit to being on camera, I think more likely these are going to be played for fun. So I want to do a video about climbing Solo Mountain just to keep myself accountable for it. And when I pull out all the solo capable games, ones that I used to play a lot and ones that I have not played in a while, it's a little mountain. So that's why I want to climb up it. Hopefully. So onward and upward for going into year number 4. Thank you all for the continued support. Please, if you have friends who are interested in Marvel Champions or any of the content that I've made, please let them know. This is the usual, the shameless plug portion. Make these little AI generated happy Vikings and little tiny Vikings for some reason enjoying a 3rd anniversary cake. If I had cake, I would share it all with you. If you know anybody who's interested in this content, please let them know about the channel. I will continue doing it. Again, we didn't shrink with the number of people who subscribed. We still gained. I'm looking forward to keep gaining people in the future. So like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification. I know it's probably going to be repeated in my outro, but so be it. That's one thing I have to fix up this year is my really, really old outro. So I think I need to take some time to deal with that. But again, I cannot thank you all enough for having watched and commented and subscribed and liked. It's been great. And I look forward to keeping up my usual pace, if not better, in 2025. So thanks very much, everybody, and until next time, happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching Longship Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It will really help the channel to grow and improve. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when more Longship Gaming content goes live. Until next time, happy gaming.